that was my whole goal the second lap, was just win, beat them. And then I crossed the finish line, and I look at the time, and I'm like, how did I do that? I'm not supposed to do that.
One of the OGs from LG, this is Taran Grewal. He has run track and cross country for Los Gatos. He went to school in Los Gatos between 21 and 25. Did you run all 4 years?
I did not. I started running sophomore year between my brother picking it up from the PE running unit. Yeah. And then he started meeting the other athletes on the team just because he started enjoying running and then started doing it after school. I kind of enjoyed it. It was not the most fun activity, but once you get a little bit of the competitive urge, you got to be better than your brother. It kind of kicks in, and I needed some PE credit. You know, they all line up. That's how I got into running.
Alex and Jordan divided it up where Jordan ran the 800, sometimes the 1600. Alex would run the 3200 and sometimes the 1600, but it was very rare that they both ran the 1600 against each other. To be honest, I think Alex was faster, but to be fair, he's a year older.
We're kind of the same. Our divide kind of just happened naturally. He was a little better at the longer stuff. I had a little more speed and was a little better at the shorter stuff. So that's kind of how we divided.
Okay, so you kind of already answered my next question as to what got you to take it up. You took it up because of your brother, right?
Yeah.
So I have your PRs here. I have down that for the 2 mile. Where does the 2 mile happen?
Clovis Twilight.
So you did that in 10:31.6. I have 2.95 miles. We all know that's Crystal Springs, right?
Yeah.
You did 1650.7. And then I love this statistic. Where does the 3 mile happen?
Woodbridge.
So for 2.95 miles at Crystal Springs, you did 1650.7. But for 3 miles at Woodbridge, which is longer, you did it in 1605.2. That says a lot about Crystal Springs.
Yeah. And Woodbridge too, because Woodbridge is dead flat. You're on turf or sidewalk. You're on turf or sidewalk and just dead flat, really fast race, really fun.
I don't have a good explanation as to why, but I don't think I've ever been to Woodbridge.
It's in Irvine, so it's really far away.
That's probably why. Then there's 3.1 miles. Where's that?
That's Baylands. They demoted it from the 5K.
You got 17.48.8. Not a bad time. And then there's the 5K. Where's that happen?
That was at the state course.
It's 17 minutes, 49 seconds, .2.
It was the Clovis A6 Invitational.
Out of all these courses, which is your favorite?
I'd probably go with Woodbridge. It's flat, fast, fun, nighttime. So all those add up to be probably my favorite. And then I think Clovis Twilight has to be a solid second pick for a lot of the same reasons. It's fast, it's fun, it's at night.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this then. Do you like running in the morning or do you like running at night?
Right now, I'm enjoying running in the morning, but I think running at night is cooler. When you're running in the dark, it just adds an extra sense of urgency almost and mystique. What's around me, all that stuff. I'd probably say night because I can run in the dark more often at night, especially in the summer.
Maybe allow your headspace to wander a little more.
Yeah.
Keep your mind off of how much uncomfortableness you're putting yourself through.
Yeah.
Were there any notable races in cross country that you can think of that you want to share?
I don't think there were any notable races that I had, but there were it was more just fun times with friends. All the races that I really enjoy are the ones where you got to hang out as a group and you ended up either staying in a hotel after or driving in carpools where you could talk and have a good time before you put yourself through pain, and you can talk after.
Yeah, going out to Fresno is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Don't think you've never made it to state though, correct?
I have not.
Yeah. But did you go along to support your friends?
Yeah, I went along this year when our girls team made it and Aiden made it as well.
It's awesome.
Or it's a cross country, yeah.
Awesome. So track is kind of the same thing for you. You ran. It seems like people run cross country and then they're like, oh yeah, track. Of course, I'm going to run track. Okay, so you said you run the shorter events then.
Yeah, I mostly focus on the 800, and then I got dragged into the 4x4 at the end of last year and this year as well. Sometimes I touch on the mile, but that's kind of rare.
All your times are pretty impressive. Do you know your times or do you want me to bark them out?
I know my 400 and 800 time. I don't know above there.
What's your best PR for 400 meter?
In the 400, I ran 51.98.
Yep.
And I've split in a 4x4 of 49.6.
Whoa.
And then
you broke 50. Whoa. Yeah. You are fast.
That was, I did it one time and I was following Grewal, I think it was, he was one of the top guys in CCS, and I think he was the top guy in Scaval. So he really pulled me along to that. In the 800, I ran 157.57.
Yep.
And that was at the Scaval finals.
Yeah, and you broke 2 by a healthy amount. You broke 2 by more than 2 seconds. That's pretty impressive. And your 1600 meter, I have your time in front of me here. You did that in 4:41.04. That's a healthy amount under 5 minutes. That's not bad. And can you think of any track races that you want to share?
The most memorable one to me is when I broke 2 for the first time, which was the day after my birthday last year. It was fun because post-birthday, also breaking 2 was a big thing, especially because I hadn't run 201. I hadn't run 2 flat. I skipped both of those and went straight to 159. So it was kind of the shock and surprise that makes that my favorite thing. But I think what makes that race super memorable to me and it changed my perspective on how I approach racing and my mentality toward running and stuff is that when we came through the first lap, we were at 59.5. That was our split for the first lap. And I'd always been told basically over and over again by all my friends trying to break 2, you gotta hit 58. Like if you're not hitting 58 something on your first lap, you're just not gonna break 2. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, well, that goes the chance of breaking 2 here. Let's just race, try to beat these guys. Because I was racing, there was a really fast group there. It was Denny Dong, Tane Parikh. I'm forgetting the last guy, but he was from Menlo and he also broke 2, or had broken 2 previously. It was really fast company there. And so I was just like, let me beat these guys. That was my whole goal the second lap, was just win, beat them. And then I crossed the finish line and I look at the time and I'm like, how did I do that? I'm not supposed to do that. It was like a big thing in changing my mentality. It's like, you want to race, if you win, the time will come. If you try to focus on the time, you can lose like the motivation to run fast when just something tiny goes off.
Gotcha. And that meant that you had a negative split?
No, it was, my splits were 59.5 and 60.2.
Okay,
But
so it was a positive.
They were very close to each other.
Very close, yeah. That's an interesting point that you raised. This is, focus on the people, not the time, and the times will come.
Yeah.
I like that philosophy. That's really cool. Have you had to manage any injuries during your high school career? I
had a big one in my cross country season junior year. We were doing, I think it was a 5x workout. I stepped on the rail by accident and my ankle went fully flat. And afterward, you could look at my shoe and you could be like, you can see all the red on the side of my shoe.
So like you sprained your ankle?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
crap.
I could not run for the next 3 weeks, I think it was. It was not good at all. It basically did put an end to that cross country season. I did end up running at Clovis Twilight and Scaval finals there, but I ran JV for Scaval. Kind of ended my chances at making varsity, but was kind of a learning experience almost. It taught me how to manage the injury and how to strengthen my ankle.
Another interesting thing is I asked that question to everybody, have you been managing any injuries? And the thing that's so scary about that question is everybody has an answer to that question. You guys are all just beating the crap out of yourselves.
I don't think you can try to compete at a high level without having injury at some point.
You went to Portugal.
Yeah.
How long did you go there and what was the reason?
I was there for 2 weeks. My mom wanted to visit where our family was from. So I'm half Indian and like Portuguese.
Okay.
I don't know what else is there roughly. And so we had never been. My grandmother has never been. It was like our great grandparents that immigrated. We went to go visit. Honestly, it was a really nice place. We first went to the Azores, which are the islands off of Portugal. And that's where our family's actually from. And so that was it was really beautiful, super hilly. And then we went over to Lisbon just to explore like main of Portugal. That was also a really nice place. It reminded me of San Francisco a lot. Hilly, it's got the Golden Gate Bridge. It's not called the Golden Gate Bridge,
but it's got a big suspension bridge like the Golden Gate, you're saying?
Same design.
So you kept saying it was hilly there. That implies, did you train while you were in Portugal?
I did a lot of hiking in order to train, and I did one run, but then I kind of had to ditch running because I wasn't getting enough sleep on vacation. I couldn't sleep after like 6 in the morning. So I just didn't have enough energy in order to run. I weighed my options and I was like, I'm not preparing for a cross country season right now. I'm just building up for indoor track. So I got time. I can take an extra week off and just like do some hiking, hang out with people, have a good time before I actually like focus up and build myself up.
And now we do a virtual fist bump because you are in the 7%.
7%?
Only 7% of high school runners in CCS, it might be just in general, wind up getting picked up for college. You are going to run for track for UCSC.
Yeah.
Great job. I mean, that's not easy to do. Only 7% of you people make it to run for college. So you're...
I thought it was a little lower. I guess we have a pretty good region here. I think nationally it's like 2% or 1%. So we got a pretty good region here.
That's some homework I need to do. Jordan provided me with that statistic, and I don't really know what he read. And you're just running track. You're not going to run cross country.
Yeah, that's mostly because cross country, they go up in distance more. I believe it's only the 8K for Division 3. That's like a little too long for me, especially because I focus on the 800. I'm going to try to move up to the 1500 a little bit and experiment with that. But the 8K is just a little too long.
The 1500 is an indoor thing, right?
It's more of like a not high school thing. They run it at a couple... Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but like they run it at the collegiate level. It's the 1500. Like if you look at the Olympics, they run the 1500 and the mile becomes the specialty event. Whereas in high school, it's like you run the 1600 with the mile as a specialty, but those are basically the same.
So when you focus on the 800, like you're doing, how many miles do you train a week? What's your training regimen like?
Normally, I run somewhere around 40 miles a week. It's pretty consistent. It's anywhere between like 36, 37, and like 43. And for me, I do 2 workouts a week. So I do a workout on Tuesday and a workout on Saturday, or a race on Saturday. It just depends on that.
So are they hurried miles?
Not really. They're kind of relaxed. Just get time for your body to recuperate from each workout and then be ready to do another workout super hard.
If I was specializing in the 800, I would probably just go do a bunch of 800s like over and over and over again, but that's just me. So you didn't take a job in the name of running and training. I think that's admirable. That's one of the best reasons I've heard of for a young person to not work.
I think it's also kind of similar to Eli, a little bit to do with laziness, but I'm gonna say it's because of training. Especially in the school year, it was because of training. In the summer, due to laziness.
You did listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
So what are you going to major in at UCSC?
I'm majoring in electrical engineering.
All right. That's what my wife does.
Same thing that my dad does, so kind of following in his footsteps a little bit. It's something I enjoy it. At the beginning of summer, I started tinkering with a guitar distortion pedal.
Nice.
I built my own of that. Honestly, I really enjoyed building it and learning about it. So it's kind of just like the obvious choice.
Is an Arduino kind of a toy you can play with that? Or have you ever heard of a Zinc, Z-I-N-Q?
I have not heard of a Zinc.
The Zinc is a product of, used to be Xilinx. My wife worked for Xilinx and then AMD bought them. So now she's an AMD employee. And the Zinc was kind of a cool thing where you could like program an FPGA, but then you could have a C program that made function calls to things that the FPGA did. It was really neat.
Okay.
You're entering into a really interesting technical realm. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and I want to tinker with a couple more pedals and stuff, and just kind of do the enjoyable stuff where I can see how it works, how electronics work on a more basic scale. And honestly, it's enjoyable to look at that stuff, tinker, and change a part out and see what it does.
You're probably the first person I have interviewed that is picking a major. Everybody else is undeclared, of people that are running for school.
That's kind of interesting.
So you got a dog. What kind of dog?
Labradoodle.
A Labradoodle.
Yeah, and she's 2 years old. She should know a little better, but in the past 4 days, she's peed on my bed 3 times. So I've been getting better at making my bed. Pretty quick process now.
You are doing crate training, right?
Yeah, she was already crate trained when we got her, so we're using the crate.
So you got a mature dog, not a puppy. You're crate training her. Did you know the previous owner?
Yeah, it was the same place that we got we have another dog who's, I don't actually remember how old he is. I think he's 8. So we got him from a breeder. This other dog that we just got was defective. She's a Labradoodle, and she sheds like a really slight amount.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's one of the selling points of Labradoodles, right? They don't shed, supposedly.
Yeah, the main selling point of them is just that they're hair dogs. So you don't get any shed, and so they don't give you allergies. So she would give allergies to people it's so slight, but she would give allergies to people, and people really care about that. And so they probably wouldn't use her for breeding or anything. So it's like, well, we'll take a dog that sheds a little and just give her a home.
Okay, is she howling?
Yeah. She hasn't done it recently. They say she came crate trained, but when we put her in a crate at night, she would howl for like an hour every night.
And you just left her in there, right? You did the right thing. Yeah, you just have to ignore it.
I've been going to bed at like 10 every night, and that's the same time that we put her to bed. So every night, right as I'm trying to go to sleep, she would start howling. Luckily, it's gone down, so now I'm able to sleep peacefully. Like the first night that it happened, I could not go to sleep. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Okay, so you went to the Nike Outdoor Nationals and Nike Indoor Nationals. Which years did you go for each of those?
So junior year, I made it to outdoor with my team in the 4x8. This year, I made it to indoors in the 800 and then outdoors in the 4x8 and the 4x4.
And how did you do?
It was kind of a mixed bag at all of them, because on the one hand, it's a really fun experience traveling super far away with your team.
Yeah, it's a haul up to Oregon.
Indoors for me, I was alone, but that one's all the way in New York. So
oh wow, I didn't know that.
That was really far away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for all of those, I got sick in the week prior last year at outdoors. So my junior year, I got a cold. That wasn't too bad, but it hurt my performance a little bit. It was still really fun to be there. It was a first time, so you don't really expect to do that well because you have all this added pressure, I guess, of this is a national meet now, you got to perform, whatnot. So I was like, okay, we'll be back. We'll bring it back next year. We'll do better. Exactly a week before going to nationals this time, I got an ear infection. Luckily, it cleared up in time so I could go on the plane. Everything was fine.
Yeah, a plane ride with an ear infection would be particularly miserable, don't you think?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I got the infection in my right ear. We had a layover in Salt Lake City. And then from Salt Lake City to Eugene, when the plane was coming down, I felt like the congestion in my left ear, which was kind of funny because I was like, oh, my right ear's already congested, so it will probably feel extra congested. But it was my other ear that was kind of the problem.
Your other ear had to make up for the pressure differential.
I felt like I was in like PR shape right before I got it. And then after it, I was like, you know what, let's just have a good time. And
you made it.
Yeah, that's the important part. You made it, have a good time.
Do you know your times for the outdoor and indoor nationals?
I ran 2:02 at outdoor nationals my junior year. So that was my split. And then at indoor nationals, I ran 2 flat, 0.1 or 0.2, something around there. So that one was a little disappointing because I also got sick for that. I ended up getting COVID for that one.
Oh, lovely.
And I didn't find out that I had that until 2 days after.
How hard did COVID hit you?
It was like a pretty bad cough. I don't think it hit me that hard. It was more like a cold with like added like a little bit of lung cough up, I guess.
Did you feel like nothing tasted good? I've heard that food loses all its taste.
Not really. I mean, it did have a little less taste, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty mild.
Who do you look up to?
I think the biggest person I look up to is Marco Arop as a runner. He's Canadian 800 meter runner. He was second at the Olympics. I think I look up to him because of the way he runs. Most of the 800 meter guys will positive split. They'll try to assert themselves from the start and then try to hold on at the end, I guess. I really like the way that Marco runs his races. He can do that where he asserts himself in the front and just push the pace or run from the middle of the pack like most 800 meter runners do. I find it really inspiring when he goes to the back of the pack, like just straight to the back of the pack. And you're like, oh, he's just, fall off, whatever. He's at the back of the pack. Once like the second lap comes around, he can pull himself all the way to a position where he is competing for the win now.
So he does like a positive and a negative split.
Yeah.
Both strategies.
And I kind of am inspired by his negative splits, I guess, because they're just really impressive to me and kind of motivate me and be like, you just can't give up on a race ever, no matter where you are, how you feel.
So this is a random picture I took of Jordan and Hillary Stoddard. I don't know if you knew her.
I do not know her.
She's off running for Stanford right now. She was the first person I ever saw do a positive split 800. I was just like, holy crap. She just walked away from everybody the first lap.
Yeah.
Just walked away. She was running all by herself out in front. And then, she spent everything she had and hung on. And she won. She did win. But ever since then, I started just watching her. I was like, wow, she's fun to watch. Do you have any advice for freshmen that are coming in that are thinking of taking up running sports?
I would say at least give it a season. If you're like, I just want PE credit, I just want whatever, if you have like a sports credit or something, get my sports credit out of the way. Try finding people who you enjoy doing it with. If you find people you enjoy doing it with, it becomes exponentially more fun. Just gossiping on runs, competing against people who like, I know this person, so I can like hold it above them or something if I beat them. Okay, not necessarily hold it above them, but you can compete with them and you know them and you can, I don't know what's the right word here. It's like,
it sounds like friendly competitive culture.
Yeah.
You're competing against each other, but you're also encouraging each other. That's
exactly like that.
That's one of the things I absolutely love about this sport. One time Sahil was gonna go run, I think, a 1600. Some students competing from another school turned around and they kind of knew who he was. And they said, hey man, we're gonna try to break 430 on this one. If you hang with us, maybe you could do it too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, encouraging your competition to hang with you, that's nuts.
Yeah. And when it's people you know, you kind of also have this expectation, like, I want to prove to them that I can do it as well as to myself. And so it gives you extra motivation and adds an extra element of fun.
Sahil was the guy that inspired Milpitas. And one of the best moments I remember just being a photographer and hanging out. I also consider myself a spy. I often learn things. Like I told Coach Johannes, our coach, I went and talked to some of the parents for Los Altos and found out that the Los Altos girls were running 65 or 60 miles a week. And I came back and told our coach that. And he's like, oh, dang. He's like, I think we need to at least get up to 45 miles a week then. They're only doing like 35, It's like, so I often overhear stuff. But I heard the Palo Alto coaches, they didn't know who I was, and they're standing there watching the track, and one of them says, since when are the Milpitas High School's kids so damn fast, right? It's like, that was juicy. It was really cool to hear that. Okay, this is new. I may keep this, I may edit it out. Do you have any questions for us? And if you don't, that's cool.
What was your favorite event to photograph?
Well, I'd have to say hurdles are really cool once I got good at it. It took quite a while to do that. I had to get the right equipment, there's something called aperture. I don't know how much you know about photography. I had to get the aperture like right in the sweet spot where I could get, the prize for hurdles is when they're just over the hurdle.
Yeah.
So you need the camera, you need the depth of field to be able to get them and have everything else blurry in the background. And I have so many pictures of Kaya. Kaya is our walk away from everybody hurdler and sprinter. She is not nearly as fast, but she is the equivalent of our Hannah Rutherford, if Hannah Rutherford did hurdles. I have her queued up sometime next month, so I'm really excited to interview Hannah. Well, cool. That was great. Taran Grewal, it was so great to interview you. You are an impressive 800 meter. You broke 2 for the 800 meter. Not everybody can do that. You're in the 7% of people that got accepted to go run for school. You've been to Portugal. You're becoming rather worldly. I have to say, I wish you the best of luck, and I would love to have you on again once you're in school. Would you be up for that?
I would love to be back.
All right, I'd love to have you again. All right, this is Taran Grewal, and it's been so nice having you on the show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.